This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. My girl, and say, this is Scoobly Doobly, wow, wow, wow. Tomato. Get your dialysis. Get your transplant. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Cool. Great. Fantabulous. Scoobly. Doobly. Wow. And I shall call Lisa Baxter because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hello. Hi, everybody. This is your girl, Lisa Baxter. Oh, good evening. This is Mental Health Month awareness, and this is also the other day was High Potassium Awareness Day. So I hope you're taking care of your potassium. I got a wonderful show for you tonight. So grab onto your hats, your coats, and the steering wheel because we're going to take a ride. Okay? I'm going to introduce my guest to you. Okay? His name is Steve Starr. Okay? He's in the wealth management. He's a wealth management intern, right? He's on the dean's list. He is a recipient of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and he is also was a dialysis patient, and he's a transplant patient. He's a transplant warrior at this time. I will introduce to you none other than Steve Starr. Steve Starr, come on. Welcome. Okay, I see you over there, Steve. We were talking a lot before the show, so I don't hear you now. What's going on, baby? I ain't mad at you. All right, turn it up now. Turn it all the way up. How you doing? You all right? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. How about that? I can hear you now.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's all about you, and it's telling the truth, and it tells a story. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So wow. So we're gonna get this thing ready and going because there's 2 shows after this one, but this we're all good and we're all important. So we're gonna start off with what is it like being an intern?
Well, my internship hasn't started yet. It starts actually next month, but I'm super excited for it. It's at a company called Equitable, which is an offshoot of AXA, which is a French multinational insurance and financial services company, and I'm really excited to be an intern there. Obviously, with a lot of the COVID-19 situation going on, the internship's been moved to remote, so virtual for now. But I'm really excited to join the team there as an intern.
Well, at least they didn't stop it altogether because some things has ceased or slowed down, but at least you're still able to do your internship. What was the process it took for you to even get started into getting your internship?
Good question. So the process is months and months of months and months of networking and hundreds of applications. So I started networking early in fall semester, so about September, October. And just a recommendation, I seems like a little bit of a late start. Should probably start networking in the summer, so May, June, July, August. So I started networking in September and October, and I'd reach out to hundreds of contacts and people in the financial industry that I had accumulated over the last few months and over a year, and just really pick their brain. You just talk to them over a phone call and to see what advice they may have for me or just help with interviews and really get my foot in the door to really see what it's like to work in the financial services industry. So lots of networking, obviously, that's part A. And then part B is obviously tons of applications. So you really a good combination of both is really going to get you into the door and get a good internship.
Well, that's wonderful. How long is it going to last? How long do you have to do it for?
So the internship starts June 8th next month, and it should last about 2 months into beginning of August.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm glad
Thank
you're
you.
excited about it. You never
Yeah,
know
yeah, awesome.
that want to do an
Yeah.
internship or try. I know we also have done that at my job. The first one to be or they're want to do something that the agency hires for. They allow them to do an internship there. Sometimes we need something for college credits, so we'll have them come there and work with the teachers or the social workers or something like that, depending on what the internship is for. So,
Absolutely,
okay,
yeah.
so you were on the dean list last year. What was that like?
So I guess a lot of studying. So I was fortunate enough to be in the library a lot of the times with a lot of my friends because wasn't really a fan of studying by myself. So studying with a lot of friends and really get a good group of people and influences around you to really study late at night and really get good grades in school is something that's obviously not that easy. It wasn't that easy for me. I had to put a lot of hours into studying and really just keep up with your classes. That's something that's really important and it's necessary to really be getting good grades in school. That's something that I really had to change throughout my college career. Lots of
Wow.
studying, lots of hours in the library. Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I know when I was in college, a lot of studying took place, and I had to go off and on. I went when I was a teen, then I went in my 20s, and then I actually finished in my 40s. How about that? So,
Mhm.
how was it to see your name on the list? Because I know a lot of times, sometimes you're excited, or sometimes, you don't always know you have it in the bag. So, when you saw your name up there or posted or whatever they did to get you to notice you was on the dean list, how did you feel then?
Actually, you're actually right. I didn't know I was getting Dean's List, so I was kind of shocked and surprised. It was a pleasant surprise to really open my grade for the semester and see that I made the list. It wasn't something that I was expecting, and obviously I was overly joyed. And something that I really put on my resume and add to my list of accomplishments. So I was really happy, and I was very pleasantly surprised with my performance this past semester.
Well, that's great. Bravo for you. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, we're going to go into your dialysis journey, your transplant journey. But before we do, I was so excited when I met your parents. I met your parents and your brother. Your mother and your brother has been on the show already. Your father, he's next. Now, because nobody tells us, no matter who's in the family or who's in the room, trust me, everybody got a different take or a different angle. And all of the puts the puzzle together. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, yeah.
I met them at the dentist, Brygen. I never get to say his name right. Brygen Foundation. I was given an award there that night, and so was your parents. For what they're doing and what your brother had did. And that's where I met them, and I kept saying, well, where is he? Or I want to meet him, or I want him on the show because I think I asked about you and for you first, and I don't think you was ready at the time, so I the rest of the family, which was still a blessing and still good. I was grateful. So now, but I finally got you, honey. I finally got you. So this is it right here. So I just said that to say that, I'm giving them a little background about you because no matter what you've been through, no matter what you went through, you still you did the internship. You still, went to college. Life didn't stop. You kept going. No matter what was thrown at you, presented to you, you still kept going. And I have to say, I had a lot to do for that. You're a real warrior, a real trooper, a general in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So,
Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, talk. We're gonna go with dialysis. How did you know you had to do dialysis? How did you find out, sir?
Well, I was on dialysis for about 2 months when I was 12 years old. So a little bit of background. When I was 12, I was just a normal, healthy person, healthy 12-year-old, and I was at a barbecue, a few of them actually, right before the start of the summer,
Hmm.
and so it was normal, it was normal barbecue. And then a few days later, I wasn't feeling well. My stomach was hurting, a lot of cramps, and so I went to my pediatrician. And we were supposed to go on vacation the next day. And the pediatrician said that it was something like a 24-hour stomach bug, and that he should be fine to go on the vacation. So naturally, we listened to our doctor, and we went on the vacation, went on a cruise, and my health had really deteriorated over time over the next couple of days. And so we went to the infirmary. They didn't know what was wrong with me. They treated me with antibiotics, I believe, which is not something you'd usually done, from my knowledge. And then once we got to the first stop, offshores in Bermuda,
Yeah.
I'd gone to the hospital, and they did a CAT scan. They found out that my kidneys were failing, which I was then airlifted to Boston Children's Hospital and spent the next 2 months on dialysis recovering there. So I'd spent dialysis. I believe it was an every other day ordeal, and it's something that's natural with the dialysis patients. And from my memory, it was. I feel like from my personality, it's not something I really dreaded or anything like that. It's kind of just life, you know. I wasn't really like sad or anything, at least from what I remember. It's just something that you had to do. I remember a lot from my memory is that I was like bedridden a lot of the time, so I was forced to walk, obviously to exercise around around, I guess, the hall, the floor. And I think that's something I wasn't too keen about. I remember that. I remember playing a lot of video games when I was in the hospital bed. I think my parents said I was fortunate enough to get like a PSP or something that was popular at the time. It's like a little portable device. I spent hours on it. That's something I've always been fond of, playing video games. So something that really kept me going through it. And see, of course, my family members there and my friends from back home. That was something that's really important, and that's part of life.
Wow, wow. That's a big thing for you to go through at 12 years old. That's young. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
4-year-olds and babies on dialysis, and that like took my heart and my breath away. But I couldn't imagine even a 12-year-old being on
Mhm.
dialysis. Where did you put the catheter? Did you have a graft? What did you have, sweetie?
Yeah, I had a catheter in my neck here, and I have some little bit of scars. But then eventually they transferred the catheter to my chest here because it's a little bit safer, I believe, and wasn't as urgent. So I have a little bit of scar here. But yeah, that's how I got intravenous dialysis, and that was something that was a part of my life for the next few months and has been ever since.
Wow, wow. Did you make any friends while you were in there?
I can't remember. Well, I can't. I think my parents were more active with like the social aspect of being in the hospital when I was 12.
Oh,
More
okay.
recently, more recently I'd made some friends, but
Oh,
not something that I really remember when I was 12 years old. I don't remember too much. I do remember some people that I was roommates with, and they were pretty memorable people for sure. I definitely loved getting along with them, but we haven't really stayed much in contact, from my knowledge at least. I think, but it would be interesting to talk to people like that. 100%.
yeah, because sometimes when you're in the dialysis center, a lot of times you meet a lot of different people. I was an advocate there, and I sat next to people. People were on the side of me, people were across from me. So
Oh
and
yeah,
even
absolutely,
coming in, you just
absolutely. I
meet
love.
different,
Yeah. Oh, I
and
hear
you
what you're saying. I completely agree. Yeah, I love interacting with people. A lot of the time is a lot older people than me, obviously, and I love talking with them. That's something I've really always enjoyed in my life. Just really being really social. But that's something to highlight. That's for sure. Yeah, that was a good aspect of that for sure.
okay, okay. Now, now we're going to move over to the transplant a little bit here.
Sure.
When you found out you needed a transplant or you wanted a transplant, what were some of the steps would you say your family took since you was only young? So I guess you didn't take any.
That's true. Good point. I think they had really been looking for who could potentially give me a kidney. So I think my parents were first on the list. I think they both weren't qualified for health reasons, like high blood pressure or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then they were looking for their coworkers or friends. I think at one point, my parents had like recruited someone who've been in people that have been in their position to really help them look and really just kind of mass market it. Something I wasn't really too keen on. I kind of wouldn't define myself as a super like public person, and it's more something that's private towards me. So I wasn't really keen on the fact of like a Facebook event or anything like that. But that's something that they had done, and I understand why for sure. But
Oh,
yeah, it's something that I've done. Looking at coworkers, just getting the word out was really the most important thing. Spreading the word, because there's always altruistic people out there that are always willing to do something like that. And then eventually, it came to my brother. I was fortunate enough, and he stepped forward, got tested, and obviously, we'll tell the story from then on.
wow, wow. Well, each one reach one. You know what I mean? You guys had did your homework and y'all went scouting out there. So y'all went from co-workers to and family members and whoever was around, I guess. And that's amazing. You know that guy that's helping to produce the show tonight, Jared A. Brown? He
Yeah,
does this
yeah,
show called Warriors Quest, helping people to get a donor. You know what I'm saying? And you
yeah.
guys did this, you know what I'm saying? And I thank God that we have his show, and I thank God for people like your type of family that will go all
Hmm.
out to get it for you. You know what I mean? They saw the need,
Absolutely.
and they ran out there and they got it.
Absolutely.
So your brother was a perfect match, right?
Yeah, that's actually right. Yeah, so he has a 6-6 tissue typing match. That's something that's it's rare, and especially but with siblings, I think it's like a 50-50. Overall, something that's really not too common, and it definitely helps with my immune system and the ability to recognize it not as a foreign object, and that really stems to the longevity of the kidney. That a lot of experts say that it can last double the longevity as a normal transplanted kidney, a perfect matched one. So that's something that's also super fortunate and grateful for.
Wow, wow. My husband was a perfect match for me. I didn't get a chance to get his kidney because he had developed high blood pressure, and when you have something else like that wrong with you, you cannot give it. You know.
Yeah.
So what was the other thing? Yeah, so you can't give it. But my phone is ringing at the same time. They know not to call me while my show is going on, but this is a reality show. How about that? But how long you had your transplant? I wanted to say.
So about a two and a half years now. I got it in November 2017. So about 2.5 years.
Talk a little louder, please.
Yeah, sorry. So about 2.5 years. I received my transplant in November 2017. So yeah, about 30 months.
Okay, let's see. All right. So I can hear you a little. This is why I don't like people to call me and everything while I'm doing the show. All right. Okay. That's how long you had your. Did you go through anything when you got your transplant? What did you go through? What was your process like?
Well, when I got the transplant, the first step is obviously recovery at in the hospital. So I was recovering for about I think 6 days, 7 days, and my brother was fortunate enough to go home after a couple of days, I believe. And as soon as I remember vividly, actually, the strongest things that had stood out to me when I'd woken up from the surgery is the fact that I just felt so awake. Like it's before you get your
Mm,
transplant, your kidneys aren't doing so well. It's like it's a sudden gradual decline. It's a gradual decline of your health, and you don't really. It's not as noticeable because it's obviously very gradual over the months. But you just feel very tired. It's just not as much energy, kind of just under the weather a lot of times, sleep a lot. I remember I was sleeping like 12 to 14 hours a day or something to that degree, and I was still tired without a lot of energy. So after the transplant, when I woke up, I just felt so awake, so energized. And I remember this like tasting food is something I hadn't really noticed, but the tasting of food was just something that stood out to me so much. And I could really taste all the flavors, something you really might take
mm,
for granted. And that's something
yes.
you lose kind of like your sense of taste when your kidneys aren't doing so well. So that's something that's really important. And I felt so awake. I met new people, and I had a great support system around me. So that was something that was really important, and I felt really healthy.
Hmm. Wow. Were you ever scared for your brother because it was a family member, your brother who gave you the kidney, Mike, right?
Yeah, yeah. Was I scared for
Were
him?
you ever scared
I
for
was
him or nervous that he was giving you the kidney or thought anything would happen to him or anything like that?
not. I wasn't really scared or nervous for him. I was grateful for the fact that he would do such a thing. But I was maybe cautious. I mean, I knew of the risks, and I acknowledged that the risks weren't particularly high. The doctors have described the procedure as routine, something that they perform twice a week. So I wasn't really nervous for him. Maybe because of just in my own experiences, I've been through a lot of surgeries, so I couldn't really. So that's how I felt, especially when with my own surgery. So I was kind of maybe projecting my own feelings onto his surgery. So I didn't really know how he felt, to be honest. But I wasn't really nervous for him or myself. I was more just cautious of the facts, and I was more of routine surgery. And I was hopeful that things were going to go well. I was optimistic for sure.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm still hearing you low, but don't worry, we're gonna go on with the show. We're almost done. Since your transplant and since being on that dialysis, what would you say you learned or can take away from the table?
Okay, great question. So I think that the biggest thing that I've learned is that really everyone has their own backstory, right? Everyone has their own unique story, and everyone has some experience or personal experiences that they've experienced in their life that someone else maybe may can relate to or can't relate to. In the sense that you look at me and you may not think that I've had a kidney transplant, but that's something that's deeply ingrained in my experiences and really shaped who I am. So it's really to take, like, really not to judge another person from how they look or what they've been through, because I think there's something that everyone can really learn from everyone's own experiences, and that's something that's really important and it shaped who I am. I try not to judge, and I think that everyone can bring their own anecdotal experience to the table, and people can learn off that for sure.
Well, kidney awareness and transplant awareness and kidney education, that's important to me. That's important to us and everybody on this network because that thing seemed to be hidden under a rock someplace, and it's just not enough people getting involved or doing anything about it or sharing the information or the broadcast or and this is just for their own good. Preparation
Absolutely.
is the key. What I mean? Educating yourself about your illness or whatever's wrong with you is a big key. You know what I mean? And knowing your family history, you know? So
Yeah.
I can see your family really was involved and they really love you. I mean, your mother shined like a dime or a big quarter up here. I mean, her thing went so well, it's even on YouTube, besides being on Urban Health. So, I mean, I really
Wow.
thank you. Thank your family as well. You know,
Mhm.
is there anything you think that we didn't cover or something that you would like to say?
I think you've covered a lot. I think something I'd like to add is that
You
maybe the
But you
people.
know that
Yeah.
sometimes people say, "Well, I want to say or I want to do." Is there any website you want to share or anything like that, or from Make a Wish Foundation, or if their internships are still given out, if you know the website for that for anybody out there that may want to do what you're doing. If not, that's okay. But if you have a word of encouragement to give to that dialysis patient or transplant patient that's waiting or in the same situation you was in, what exactly would you say?
Great question. That's a good question. I
You
think
think all my
it
questions
really,
is good.
yeah, yeah. I think it really stems from a mentality. Obviously, it might be easier said than done for a lot of people, but a big part of what's kept me optimistic and joyful, even in those rough times, is really just being hopeful and just acknowledging the beauty around you. Like the fact that they even have dialysis machines and maybe a little bit antiquated. There may be need for improvement with that respect, but the fact that this machine can really keep you alive is something that's beautiful, and you have to acknowledge the fact that you might be grateful for that. I think it really stems from a mentality point of view, and really try to remain as optimistic as possible. There's ups and downs in life, and that's something you need to accept. There's ups and downs for everyone, and you really just you need to go on with life and really remain positive and optimistic. I think that's really the key takeaway I've been through with all my experiences for sure.
Wow, wow. Excellent. Well, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? Somebody in your family, a friend, an organization, association?
Yeah, sure. So shout out to my brother, of course, my parents for helping me out with those times. Of course, my friends, super integral in my support system, and I think that's something that's absolutely imperative to really going through a tough time, tough health situation with anyone, whether it be kidney transplant or mental health. Building awareness is absolutely imperative, and that support system is also really something that's necessary. Just keep going.
Wow. Well, that's excellent. Let me tell you something. I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for
Thank you.
being helpful, cooperative, and telling your story. Because I'm telling you, somebody out there heard it, and somebody out there got hope because what you said. So, my hat off to you again, and I thank you once again, you and your whole family, your whole
Thank
family.
you. It's a pleasure to
Okay.
be on it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, and you have an excellent night. And I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing
Thank
and
you
do
so
more.
much.
I ain't mad at you. Come on here. All right?
Of course. I appreciate you as
Okay.
well. Thank you for having me again. Thank you.
Good night. Well, guys, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? What can I say? Let me tell you something. I had the brother who gave the kidney. I had the mother who was proud about it and had got involved with the family. And now I got the recipient. Okay. So let me tell you, God is good. God is awesome. He's wonderful. And he has blessed that family. So bless you. Have a great night. I see you next week. Sharing is caring. Take care of your kidneys and they will take care of you. Much love and peace. Mwah. Your girl giving you the 411. Peace. Y'all ready for this? Yeah. This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is